March that you guys were going to get a good deal done with Justin. It appears that's the case. Just how excited are you to have this done before training camp starts?
Yeah, I think a special moment for the club. I think just so much respect for Justin and his team, and I think you can't say enough about Ed McGuire and Katie Sylvan, and and then just the investment from the Spanos family. And this is a great way to start the season for sure.
I don't know with Justin whether it would have been a distraction at all, but was there any concerns at all about it going into camp?
No, Jeff, he was focused the whole off season. He had a really good summer training, and he came in, ready to play, as you guys saw today. So, just the respect on both sides was really high. The communication was really good, and I thought it was a really good contract for both sides.
Kind of conversation with him after he signs a deal. Essentially, it's the biggest deal in NFL history about everything he's done to this point. It's gotten him here, and he doesn't need to change, or does he need to change anything?
Yeah, I think the conversations between him and I are always going to remain private that way, Lindsay, but he's so focused. I think the reason why he earned this contract is because of who he is, the type of person he is, the type of leader that he is, and the type of player that he is. So there's no one that cares more about this game and this team more than Justin Herbert. And I'm just really excited for him and our team that we were able to get this season started off the right way.
Do you ever think about that from like a big picture perspective? Some teams take years to try to find a franchise quarterback, and you have one. Just like maybe how fortunate you are, the team is to have Justin.
Yeah, we're so fortunate, and I think the history of this team will tell you this franchise knows how to find quarterbacks. When you go all the way back to Dan Fouts and Stan Humphries, Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees, and now Justin. I mean, we're very, very fortunate, and to have a young player leading your team that is made up of all the right stuff, most importantly, and then who can play the game like few that have ever played the position can. It's just really exciting for us.
Plays 3 guys on the pup list: Austin, Tito, and Jalen. Just is the hope that those guys will be ready at some point in training camp? Do you have any sort of timeline on that?
No timeline on those 3 guys. Those 3 guys all had good summers, and we're going to make sure that we take the full amount for them to come back healthy.
Is it fair to say J.C. Jackson was a full participant out there today, and if so, what's it mean to have him ready to go for training camp?
Yeah, I think you saw him out there. I think it says so much about him. I think Marco Zacconi, Sal Lopez, our training staff, Allison, Alvin, Sam, that group of people, Anthony Lamondo, Jonathan Brooks. It took a village to bring this guy back, and for him to go out there today and compete, I think says so much about JC and our team. There's a long way to go, Lindsay, but for him to be out there and practice and being able to go full speed, we got to ramp him up, because just because he's cleared to be out there doesn't mean he's cleared to play a full game. So we just got to make sure that we ramp him up the right way, but he played well today.
Getting to see your group of receivers out there. I know Josh was out most of spring, so first time getting to see basically the full group out there. What excites you the most about this group of receivers between Mike and Keenan and Josh, and obviously Quentin?
Yeah, it's a complete receiver group, and that's what you're looking for offensively, is to have a group where they have to defend everybody on the field. And so those, Josh, Keenan, and Mike have done so many good things in this league that we've already seen. They continue to improve, and then to add somebody like Q with his ability makes it exciting. And then you think about our tight end and our running back room. We got to take this time in training camp to figure it out, and that's what we're going to do is figure it out. But it's certainly the right group to be coaching.
What's it like to integrate Kellen more into your offense defensively?
Yeah, Kellen's been fantastic, not just from an offensive perspective, but from a team perspective. I think from a coaching staff perspective, just what he's about is what we're about. And so I think all of his experiences as a player and as a coach, being able to build on some of those and the success that he and Doug had in Dallas, and I think it's made all of us better. And to see him leading our offense, as you see out there, the energy our guys are playing with, just looking, forward to the work ahead, because there's a lot of work ahead. We're far from a finished product, so we got to take this training camp and it's going to happen well into the season to figure out who we are. But our guys are putting in the right work, that's for sure.
Brandon, do you have an overall message for the team coming into camp? And if so, is it any different than what you've said in the past?
Yeah, every year is a different year. But I think, my message with this group is, we have a really good football team. And what we got to make sure is we just take the field right, every single day with that mindset to compete at a Super Bowl standard. And you start in training camp and you build it all the way to your last game. So I love coaching this group of guys, and, training camp is where the hard work's done. So that's what we're focused on.
Your third camp, any differences as far as ramping things up or implementing things maybe compared to the first two?
Yeah, I think you'll see some nice subtle changes because I think, as I've told you guys, you get better at this as you go. and you improve so much. You figure out what you need and how you need to do things, and so we're gearing it so these guys can come out every practice and compete. That's what we've really tried to do, is where these guys don't have to pace themselves. And that was my big message to the group, is when we come out on this practice field, it's designed for you guys to compete at a high level. And that's what we're going to try and get done, and we're going to try and put a good show on for these fans every single time we come out, because training camp's about these fans, and so we want to make sure that we put on a show every time we come out.
Basically 95% of the roster you're familiar with and back, and maybe there's a couple roster spots still up for grabs, but most of it's set.
Yeah, Joe, I think that's a good point, because every year is a new year in the NFL, and there's natural transition, but when you can have less of it, I think that we would all take that. And so I think that really creates the energy that you're looking for when you know each other, and you guys have heard me talk about relationships and competition. I just think the energy every single day in the pros is different when you're familiar, and you're confident in who you are and what you're doing and how you're doing it. So I'm excited to bring this team back. Like I said, I think this team is really, really good, and now we got to put in the work.
Not all that long ago, Justin was in high school playing baseball, thinking maybe he'd go play at Montana State. How remarkable charity is it good for him? What does it say about him and maybe the nature of the sport?
I think if those of the people that know him from all the way back in Eugene, I think know how much this game means to him. And I think, earning this contract can be explained by how much he loves the game and how much he cares about improving. And where he started as a high school player is not where he is right now. Where he started at Oregon is not where he is right now. And where he started in the NFL isn't where he is right now. So he just pours into it. And and the people that have covered the team have heard me say he's just at the beginning. There's so much in front of him. And the thing about him is that he's wired for the work. He's up for it. He loves it. And I'm really glad that we have him.
Where does Asante fit into the secondary rotation for you guys?
In a big way. Asante's a starting caliber corner in the league. Has made a lot of big plays for us in his first 2 years. I think he's proven himself against the top receivers in the league. We've trusted him that way, and we're going to try and keep training him in multiple spots, because we know that he can play inside too. And now that we have, a healthy J.C. Jackson and Mike Davis, it's going to allow us to try him out at some new spots too, where the first 2 years that probably wasn't the case. So he had a really good season for us last year, and like a lot of our guys, just needs to keep making the improvements. Asante really cares. He's a competitor, and we have a ton of confidence in him.
Is the implication there that he'll see some more star than maybe we've seen him at in the past?
Maybe in the past, yeah, just because I think of the depth of the corner room right now. I think we have more flexibility to play him in there, where before, I don't think we had as much depth on the outside for one reason or another. So just excited to keep working with him, because he's had a really good 2 years for us and made a lot of plays. And so him going into his third season, we're going to keep pouring into him.
Would that be like a matchup and like package thing with him, or would you see him maybe potentially competing with Jasir for like a full-time role?
That's to be determined. We have the flexibility with Derwin as well, but that's what, just like I was talking with Kellen in the offense, is there's so much to figure out on defense too, about what our best combinations are, and the fact that we have the ability to have different combinations is what excites us. And now we're going to take these next 5 or 6 weeks and figure it out.